Now, it's been reported that Thomas Markle heard the royal baby news over the radio. So this got us talking about grandparents' rights and whether legally all grandparents deserve to have contact with their grandchildren. This is sort of irrespective of the relationship you have with your own children.
Yeah, I find it a bit odd. I know he's been off message a lot recently, you know, talking to the media and stuff, so they probably feared that he might leak the news, but make the call a minute before you make the announcement.
Absolutely.
Just say, you know, I think you should know that you're going to be a grandfather. To hear it on the radio, I think whatever the history between them and everything I've read about them, he's been a very involved father with her, but has obviously made a few mistakes lately, and continues to be punished for it.
I was just going to say that. I mean, I need to go back a little bit in time. I always thought that, and of course you can't believe everything you read, but I always got the impression that, as you say, they had a very hands-on relationship, spent a lot of time within the film studios, etc. And going right back to the wedding, I just think even that was mishandled. I thought that he should have been brought over beforehand. Shouldn't have been any pictures of him being fitted in Texas or Argentina, wherever he was. He should have been looked after, because he is her dad, and he's the only dad she's ever going to have. And I couldn't see how the relationship changed that quickly. Yes, he said some stupid things, continues to say silly things.
Money to talk to the press. I would
No,
be
but if
so
he'd been in this
hurt.
country, he wouldn't have got that. But just let me finish my thought process, because I think that bearing that in mind, and we have 10 grandchildren between us, I just think as a mark of respect for her father, and the fact that he is her father, as Jane says, they could have called him a second, or in modern technology, before that was released. I think it's a shocking way to be told you're going to be a grandparent.
Apparently she asked her mum to tell him.
Say that again?
Apparently she asked her mum to tell him.
Why didn't she tell him?
I mean,
Why
the thing
didn't
is,
she send an
obviously we
email?
don't know the details of their personal life and what's going on behind closed doors, but from what I see, if my father went and sold stories to the newspapers over and over again, which it seems, we don't know for sure, it seems that I would imagine that I would be very hurt, and there would be a period of time where I wouldn't want to talk to him. And you know, if she told her mother to tell him, she probably can't trust herself at this point. I mean, I get it.
But don't you also, from a point of view, wouldn't you think he's just an ordinary guy who's been put into this media storm because his daughter's married?
He's the movie producer. He knows showbiz.
Wouldn't you? Well, not really. He was a lighting technician, and you know they. No, but he's
but morally,
he's good at what he does.
Morally,
he's won Emmys. You know, he's not an idiot.
Well, but then you have to go back before that. If they'd had a good relationship beforehand, and if he'd been looked after and brought over to this country before the wedding, you wouldn't have had all that stuff about selling stories.
Okay. I think when you take a cheque from paparazzi, then you've taken a cheque from the paparazzi against your own daughter.
So he just did photographic setups. He was naive. He did, you know, here's me being measured for a wedding suit.
But then that was in that instance. So that was the wedding. Bringing it back to the, you know, finding out that you're going to be a granddad over the radio. Quite often, when normally we talk about situations like this when it's to do with divorce, when a couple splits up and then grandparents sort of lose their rights, not legally per se, but to see children. Do you think that in this instance that grandparents still have a right to see an unborn child, if you like?
Yes, I mean, I'm not talking here about the right to be involved in their upbringing or to say what school they should go to or anything like that. But give or take, and of course there will be circumstances, maybe violence or whatever, I understand that bit. But in the main, in this country, grandparents have practically no rights. And I think that's such a shame. If I thought I was never going to see one of my grandchildren again or was banned from seeing them, honestly, I can't tell you how upset and how devastated I would be. And just for the record, one of our researchers looked up. In fact, in England and Wales, grandparents do not have an automatic right of any kind to see their grandchild, and they don't have an automatic parental responsibility and rights. However, they can apply for a court order seeking contact with the child, and the courts will consider the following: the applicant's connection with the child, the nature of the application for contact, and whether the application might be potentially harmful to the child's well-being. But I'll give you one very simple, quick example. I'm sorry, you're a bit short of time, so maybe you want to say something.
Basically, we asked you at home, we did a poll just asking, because you quite rightly pointed out they don't have rights, should grandparents have legal right to see their grandchildren? Only 44% said yes, 56%
Really?
said no.
No. I'm surprised at that.
Which is really interesting. Kerry said, based on personal experience, I feel it's a privilege to be a grandparent. They have to earn any kind of respect from their children. Sarah said, I had an awful childhood, and yet my mother likes to make out she's great. I don't allow her to see my children.
Well, that's different. If there's been a bad relationship before, but I think when grandparents have had a good relationship, then they split up and they're never allowed to see.
And for the child to have the grandparents, that's the other thing. Yeah.
And just to balance it as well, Vicky says we should have legal rights. Most grandparents invest a lot of time and love in their grandchildren.
They do.
There we are.